Top 10 Macroeconomics Topics for Your Project. The difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. This topic involves a comparative analysis of microeconomics and macroeconomics, both in their definitions and how they function. Microeconomics examines the scarcity of resources between competing needs in a household or company. The microeconomic decision to buy goods affects supply and demand. Macroeconomics, in turn, focuses on the larger picture of the economy. Measuring macroeconomic concepts. The key concepts of macroeconomics are gross domestic product, inflation rate, unemployment rate, consumer price index, and public debt. These and other factors must be regularly measured to assess the country's economic situation. Why and how to do it? How are decisions to change economic policy based on this data? These questions are fascinating and worth considering. Comparative analysis of macroeconomic indicators in the U.S. and Brazil. The difference in levels of economic growth between developed and developing countries is staggering. In your paper, you can compare the USA, a developed country, and Brazil, a developing country. We suggest that you focus on differences in various macroeconomic indicators, including GDP, GNP, inflation rate, unemployment, per capita income, and economic growth. Macroeconomic indicators and their impact on the Greek economy. Macroeconomic indicators are critical to the progress of a country. In an essay on this topic, we invite you to consider the key macroeconomic indicators of Greece and their impact on its economy. In particular, you can focus on the decline in gross domestic product due to the global crisis, the high unemployment rate, and the country's substantial public debt. Public debt and managing macroeconomics. This topic suggests that you explain the positive and negative effects of public debt on a country's economy. First, public debt allows governments to finance their spending when other sources of income become insufficient. It can also stimulate economic growth under certain circumstances. However, public debt can only be beneficial when kept low, becoming a burden when it exceeds 85% of GDP. In your article, you could focus on getting the right balance between debt levels and investment. Macroeconomics and monetary policy. Monetary policy is part of the macroeconomic policy of the state. It determines the amount of money available in the economy, as well as the ways and channels for distributing this money. In an essay on this topic, we invite you to consider the mutual influence of monetary policy and other macroeconomic factors such as gross national product, inflation rate, etc. Macroeconomic policy under floating exchange rate. The floating exchange rate may change occasionally, depending on the dynamics of the foreign exchange markets. Despite its advantages, such as flexibility, a floating exchange rate has sometimes failed to ensure financial market stability and promote economic growth. In our paper, we invite you to formulate proposals that can help overcome its shortcomings. European macroeconomic policies and risks. European macroeconomic policy is primarily aimed at accelerated and sustainable economic growth. Monetary policy, aggregate demand policy, aggregate supply policy, and inflation targeting all work together to reduce financial risks for member countries, consumers, and businesses. However, there are specific problems that we suggest you discuss. These include economic divergence, high debt levels, global uncertainty, and demographics. Current macroeconomic situation in the USA. The economy of the United States of America is of global interest, given its importance in the worldwide economy. Various macroeconomic factors, such as inflation, recession, and unemployment, to name but a few, have played an essential role in shaping the U.S. economy. What consequences do they have, and how to solve these problems? That's an exciting topic for a macroeconomics project. The Phillips curve, the trade-off between inflation and unemployment. The Phillips curve shows the relationship between inflation and unemployment in a state's economy. It suggests a trade-off between these two factors. As unemployment decreases, inflation increases, and vice versa. However, this relationship is not always consistent. What factors can influence it? That's an exciting topic to explore.